Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is HD Starcraft and I'm back for another Heart of the Swarm broadcast. And today I'll be doing a exhibition matchup. I've been doing a lot of the DreamHack matchups obviously, and then I took a couple of days break afterwards, but now I'm going to be going back to doing some exhibition games. If you guys have any sick replays you'd like me to cast, feel free to send them in to HDreplays@gmail.com. And today we're going to be looking at Coyote, SCS Coyote, who is going to be the red Zerg player in the bottom right hand corner of the map, Akalon Wastes. And in the top left hand corner, coming back for another broadcast on my YouTube channel, it is going to be Outset CaptainWaffles. What's going on, Waffles? And he is going to be the blue Terran at the top left-hand corner of the map. Very excited, as you guys all know. Probably one of the most closest and insane games I've ever casted was with CaptainWaffles. If you guys haven't seen it, I forgot who we played against, but I think I titled it like epic, most epic game ever or something like that. Go check it out. It is amazing, and hopefully this one's going to be just as good. He is going to be obviously the blue Terran here in the top left-hand corner, and this should be a pretty exciting one. We'll see what happens. And of course, going to go back to casting as many games as I can, try to get at least a game a day for you guys on my YouTube channel. So do make sure that you guys stay tuned. On other news, I will be going actually to the track again tomorrow, Thunderhill Raceway, that is, as I'm starting to get into that a little bit more. Very fun. I'll bring my GoPro again, and if I get a good run, maybe I'll post it up on my channel. So yeah, keep your eyes tuned out for that one as well. Anyways, we do have a drone coming up here from Coyote. Looks like he wants to get in the front door. It's gonna be a fight to the finish here, but no, the drone has to pull away because, of course, a drone has a slight disadvantage evolution-wise. He's got only 40 HP. The SCV comes out of the command center with a little bit more, 45, so it usually wins those battles, even though the drone, when it's fighting, it regenerates enough HP to survive one more hit. It's typically the SCV will win that fight. So yeah, the Coyote's drone will now have to pull back, and looks like Coyote is going for an expansion. And he's also got a spawning pool coming back at home as well. Keep your eyes on that production tab for when Coyote starts to get that gas. It's usually a good telltale sign of what kind of strategy the Zerg wants to employ. And a lot of times when Zerg go early gas, they're getting that early Zergling speed, but they can also go for early aggression too, so that's something that Terrans have to watch out for. As CaptainWaffles gets into the main base now with his scouting unit, and that is the Reaper. Of course, Coyote is going to go ahead and make a spine crawler just to keep that drone alive. Very nice play right there. And it looks like the Reaper now is going to get in the main base, but honestly, the Reaper nowadays, it does damage, but it's not enough to cripple a Zerg's economy like it was back in Wings of Liberty. It only does 5 damage a shot, which is kind of pathetic. But it's mainly used for scouting purposes, and it does a pretty good job at that. And once you get more Reapers in as well, it can certainly become a bit more of a threat. And right now, it looks like Coyote's Queen coming off the creep, gonna try to do battle with the Reapers, but the Reapers say, nah, we're gonna run away now and just regenerate out of combat. So another great ability that has been added on for Terrans in Heart of the Swarm. We do have a command center here for CaptainWaffles. And it looks like he's adding on a factory as well. We might be seeing him going up. We might be seeing him go up to mech here. And you know, in Terran versus Zerg, a lot of ways you can approach it. One of the most popular strategies nowadays. Wow, that's another command center for CaptainWaffles. He is going for a lot of CCs here. He's going to be double expanding, pretty bold. And the fact is, he's gone for the third outside of the normal location. Normally, Terrans get it over here because they've got these rock features which help them defend in case a Zerg wants to attack. This one's a little bit more open, but it can be hidden. Although I would imagine these overlords will end up scouting it at some point. So interesting decision there. Meanwhile, Reapers are still fighting the Queens. And as I was saying before, Terrans nowadays, they can actually go with one of the most popular strategies is a bio mixed in with Widow Mines. And that can be very deadly against Zerg, especially Zergs that go Mutaling, Baneling. And if they end up going Roach Hydra, then you can obviously add in siege tanks. And we'll see what happens here. It looks like one Overlord trying to float into the main base, so we'll see the factory. But I don't think that third expansion has been scouted yet, but that is going to be sniffed out pretty soon here, or seen by this Overlord pretty soon here once it flies into the Terran airspace. So there it is. And CaptainWaffles also sees the third hatchery coming up for Coyote as well. pew, 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 pew. Queen's coming out right now trying to save that hatchery. Of course, they are very slow off of creep. And that hatchery is going to take a little bit of damage, but nothing too serious, as those Reapers are going to hop up to the top cliff and then now run away. Couple of evolution chambers back at home here for Coyote. It looks like he's going up to +1/+1. No upgrades on the display board yet for the Terran, at least in terms of the armory or the engineering bay. But we do have Infernal Pre-Igniter coming right now, and the Infernal Pre-Igniter upgrade now not only, well, it's a little bit difficult to explain, but basically Hellbats were nerfed, and now they require their Infernal Pre-Igniter in order to be as effective as they were before versus light units. And judging from the buildings that are coming right now, I do believe we are going to be seeing Hellbats, as we have a pretty quick armory and starport. Could be seeing Hellbat drops. It is delayed, of course. Usually if a Terran goes Hellbat drops, they're not going to add on that third expansion this soon. But, you know, it can be like a delayed Hellbat drop strategy here coming out from CaptainWaffles, or he could just be adding in the armory because he wants to get Thors, but I don't think so. You don't see Thors very often nowadays against Zerg, but back in Wings of Liberty, that was a pretty popular unit to get. You'd see Thor ships coming out as well. But nowadays it's been changed a little bit. Thor's not nearly as effective, not the unit of choice for Terran, and that Queen needs to get her butt back home in a scurry here. It looks like it's taking a little bit of damage, and she's gonna run back home. One Zergling escort here for the Queen. The Royal Guard, if you will, is the Zergling. And the Queen will make her way back home to her royal seat. Meanwhile, yes, we do have Hellbats on the way from that factory. CaptainWaffles now adding in the Medivacs. And like I said, I think we're going to see Hellbat drops, but anything is possible since CaptainWaffles has, you know, basically got 3 bases here. And he's got a lot of options. He could drop tanks, he could drop Marines, although interestingly, he hasn't actually researched anything out of a tech lab from a barracks. He's been going purely factory here. And I think he's going to go for something like a tank Hellbat army, just purely mech. And he is going to load up 1 Hellbat. Meanwhile, on the other side, we do have a Spire on the way with a lot of Zerglings. It is going to be Zergling, Muta, Baneling from Coyote. And this isn't too bad of an option when you're dealing with a mass mech Terran. In fact, if you've got Zergling, Muta, Baneling, and the Terran doesn't have Widow Mines, and he's focused too heavily on siege tanks and Vikings, you can actually beat that army down pretty easily, considering, you know, Waffles doesn't have any Marines, he doesn't have any upgrades from Marines, but he does have Hellbats. So that's one thing that Coyote will have to be careful about, because Zerglings will get roasted by Hellbats with Infernal Pre-Igniter very, very quickly. And in fact, speak of the devil, here comes a couple of Hellbats right now. And they are going to drop that Infernal Pre-Igniter Hellbats into the 3rd expansion. One Spore Crawler trying to be built right now. Queen's here trying to defend the drones. And some drones are going to go down. No response yet really from Coyote's lost about 7 drones already. And the medevac finally drops. Those 2 Hellbats are still alive. They've roasted up about 8 drones. And they are just so sturdy in Hellbat mode. They can take so much damage from those Queens before they are finally dropped. And surprisingly, you know, Coyote never pulled his Zerglings and Banelings back. He was just kind of waiting on the other side of the map, and I'm surprised he didn't just decide to attack. But it looks like now Waffles has got siege tanks on the high ground. A lot of Zerglings gonna have to run the gauntlet to get through, but get through they shall. And this command center is in a lot of trouble, but it is going to just lift off. And oh man, I think Waffles is just gonna be totally fine here. He hasn't lost any SCVs. The Zerglings and Banelings trying to get in close range, but as closer as they get pummeled by the siege tanks. And Waffles looking very good here to start this game. 13 minutes in, 3,900 resources lost for the Zerg player, a mere 750, just a piffling amount for the Terran. And with that said, CaptainWaffles is just poised. He is sprung right now to enter the mid game of this Terran versus Zerg. Although we do have Mutalisk now coming out, so Coyote is going to try to take to the skies. So far, you know, I feel like his decision to attack into that expansion might not have been the best choice, really running it into a wall of siege tanks, and he kind of hesitated running back and forth. I think once you go in there, either you commit or you get the hell out of there if you can't kill anything. And I think maybe the best decision for Coyote right there would have been to just get out. Now that Mutalisks have been deployed, we can see that Waffles is going to add in the Thor. And this is when you do want to see Thors if your opponent is going Mutas. Thors are very good against that. forcing them to, of course, spread out. The Mutapack did take out that Medivac that was coming inbound, although there is another Hellbat drop that was dropped into the third expansion, although this time it was cleaned up. And very nice job right there by Coyote to clean up that Medivac and those Hellbats with minimal losses. He needs to go ahead and get another expansion over here at the 4th, because he is still on 3 bases, in fact. And you don't want to be on 3 bases for too long against a Terran who's already been on 3. So I'm surprised he isn't throwing a hatchery down, but there we go, he is throwing a hatchery, and he is getting up high. Hydralisk Den is going to be coming too, so we're going to be seeing Roach Hydra possibly, as Roach Warren is also on the way. And this isn't too bad of an idea, but against Mass Mech, you might want to be careful. And it looks like that Mass Mech army is now beginning to move out. It already has +1 weapons, +2 weapons on the way. Drilling Claws is coming as well, so we are going to be seeing Widow Mines coming shortly. Swarmos are on the way, and Swarmos are a pretty good unit to have against Mass Mech. They can really slow down and swarm the slow metal army. Try to say that really fast. But yeah, he can get Swarmos out, and he is going to get 10 Swarmos with Enduring Locust, all the while trying to do as much damage as he can with these Milos. Going to try to delay this 3rd expansion or 4th expansion from coming down. It looks like he will take out the missile turrets before they come, and this command center now taking some damage, but it doesn't look like CaptainWaffles even cares about that. He's just pushing into the middle of the map with this scary metal army, and he isn't going to stop. He's just going to go for the Zerg base. Meanwhile, though, this command center is going to fall down. CaptainWaffles unable to save it, but he is going to have to deal with these Swarmos that were able to pop out, and Swarmos can really put a stop to a metal army that's pushing. All that Coyote has to do is get his Swarmos underground, let the Locusts do their damage, and here comes the Locust, and really CaptainWaffles has to siege up his tanks now. He is going to get them sieged up, but the Zerglings and Balians are going to come crashing through, and CaptainWaffles is going to lose his metallic army at the front door of Coyote. Oh, brutal loss right there. And all of a sudden, this game is right back down to the wire. 8,000 resources lost for both sides, 150 supply for both sides as well. Couple of Mutilas flying in here a little bit willy-nilly. They've got to be careful. There's a lot of anti-air now, as Waffles has retrofitted his metal army with Widow Mines. And if those mines get underground, they can do so much damage. Oh my god, be careful here. CaptainWaffles is going to get the mines under these swarm hosts, and now the mines can all detonate and take out a bunch of Locusts and their parent swarm hosts as well. And now the Mutilas coming in at the same time. These stores have to pull back. Not a lot of reinforcements for them. In fact, that's the problem when you go metal. You don't really have that much fodder units to protect your heavy, expensive metal. And as you guys can see, it looks like both armies are just going to go ahead and retreat now, because they've just kind of stalemated in the middle. The Coyote doesn't want to run into those Widow Mines as they are regenerating their Sentinel missile payload. And at the same time, Waffles doesn't want to engage without that much backup, so he is going to pull back here. Very interesting game here of Terran versus Zerg, and we are going to be seeing, I guess, some swarm host mine action. A little bit of back and forth between those two units that you can see in late game TvZs. More swarm hosts being added on. That has added on the total to 16 swarm hosts. Couple of overseers coming out as well, and here comes the swarm hosts. I saw them popping off the production tab, so they will be joining the main army pretty soon. You can see CaptainWaffles has wisely pulled back to defend his natural expansion. A couple of mines also planting themselves down, but there is no overseers nearby to detect those burrowed Widow Mines. And we're having little skirmishes popping up all over Akalon Waste as Coyote sends in more swarm hosts. The commands have been given, the general's orders have been received. Attack, 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 says Coyote. He just wants to pummel the enemy Terran base. But Waffles has a lot of Widow Mines in defensive positions here. And with this many mines, oh, they get underground so quickly. And boom! Oh, that's what was eating the overkill there. Over 9,000 damage received. And finally, an Overseer does come to the top right-hand corner, so that does clear up that Widow Mine patch. As these Mutilas come in, and is there an Overseer nearby? Yes, there are. A couple of Overseers, in fact. That is going to clear up that minefield. Coyote going up for a 5th base now, and we do have starports with tech labs on the ground here. We have drillable materials, Corvid reactor. We're going to be seeing Ravens coming out pretty soon here from CaptainWaffles. Not a bad decision, as it is a mobile form of detection. And Sky Terran now beginning to process. But it looks like CaptainWaffles is going to push out onto the creep here. Has to be very careful. There's a lot of Locusts. And looks like he's been able to clear up the locusts here, as he is going to continue to push out both sides now, just trying to gain as much territory as they can in the middle of the map. You can see how valuable these Widow Mines are, as they really, you know, they soften up these locusts and they take them out because the locusts do come in clumps. So very nice. A little bit of a dogfight here in the skies. Vikings versus Mutalisks, but the Vikings are going to pull back to where they are reinforced by the Thors. And it looks like the locusts also coming in, but they get splattered immediately. Now that the Zerg has researched Hive Tech, of course, we are going to be seeing some Hive level units, and that is in the form of the Viper. Vipers are going to be coming inbound pretty soon here, and when you're dealing with this kind of small army, high valuable metal units, Vipers can be so invaluable with their ability to abduct. Couple more mines getting taken out here, and whoa, CaptainWaffles is gonna go for the Chinese wall, if you will. He's gonna go for the Great Wall here in the middle, building up missile turrets, and no doubt those CCs are for planetary fortresses. Not a bad strategy. The only thing is, when you do this, I think it does hinder you a little bit if you try to go for the base out here at the 6 o'clock expansion. If you're going to start to build up your impenetrable wall over here, it's going to be hard for him to get a command center over down at the 6 o'clock position. But we'll see what happens. Coyote now trying to punch through these rocks where there is no siege tanks, there is no defenses. And CaptainWaffles has no idea that this is coming. He could take a lot of damage. In the meantime, Ravens launching out seeker missiles, and oh! Swarmo's getting taken out by those missiles. Very nice job right there by CaptainWaffles. And he's got mobile detection now. He can take out those Swarmos. He can punch them down to the face with some Sentinel missiles. But he's gonna lose this the 12 o'clock expansion or the 11 o'clock expansion. And all the SCVs therein as well are gonna fall at the same time. CaptainWaffles has to pull his units back to defend. And he's taking a lot of damage up here at this expansion. Now the siege tanks and the Ravens coming in, but it's a little too late. Unfortunately for the Terran, he just didn't have a couple tanks here. If he had one siege tank here, a tank right here perhaps as well, he would have seen the incoming Roaches and Hydras. But at the very least, wow, he is going to take out a lot of the Zerg army on the way out. So that command center did not go down without at least costing Coyote quite dearly there. 17,000 resources lost now for both sides. And wow, it's actually still a pretty close game. I think CaptainWaffles can be pretty happy with the fact that he killed off at least half that Roach Hydra army on the way out. A lot of resources banked up now for both sides, as well as CaptainWaffles adds on the Banshees. And Coyote now in the bottom left-hand corner with a plethora of swarm hosts. He's going to go over to the left-hand side. And it looks like he might be able to take out yet another expansion as CaptainWaffles pushes in through the middle of the map. A lot of tanks here, Hellbats, Thors as well. SCV's trying to repair this planetary fortress, and I don't think that's going to be a winning battle. Meanwhile, the Vipers have shown themselves. Secret Missile coming out, but it looks like those Roaches and Hydras are going to get out of the way just in time before the Secret Missile could activate. And now it looks like CaptainWaffles is going to be the one who's pushing in. He does have +3 weapons, +1 air weapons, +2 ground armor as well. Pretty good upgrades, but blinding clouds are coming down. They are shutting down these siege tanks just a little bit. This hatchery at the top is under attack. Will the Zerg player Coyote be able to reinforce in time? He's brought his swarm host back from the offensive to try to save this base. But honestly, the base is not taking that much damage. There's only a couple of Vikings Gatling gunning it down. Meanwhile, more Roaches coming out, but the Roaches are not in large enough numbers to take out these Thors. And these 2-3 Thors are just doing so much damage. These swarm hosts have got to get back home. Of course, they are at least stopping the reinforcements from arriving. And who would have thunk it, but the PDDs are actually preventing the Locusts and the Roaches and Hydras from hitting those tanks, so they are saving them, but they won't be able to stop this many Locusts. Way too many are here. And Coyote is going to be able to clean up this expansion. He will save it. Absolutely vital. These Banshees are also flying in, but they are going to be stopped by the new wave of Mutalisks that Coyote has just added into his army. And now we are at 172 supply to 110. It almost seems like, oh, CaptainWaffles, will he get that hatchery? He will. One last shot. The golden shot, the silver bullet takes it down. Great job right there from CaptainWaffles, but I've got to feel like this last couple of minutes have not gone so well for him. He's lost his entire army. He doesn't have that much minerals banked up anymore. And he is at a supply disadvantage, but he's going to try to sneak these Hellions in to take out the drones. Not a bad job right there at all from CaptainWaffles. And let's take a look at that income. 57 dead even. And showing you guys some of these other tabs as well, obviously. Very, very important. But it's a 180 supply now to 121. I gotta feel like Coyote now has the edge just because he has just a larger supply. And now he's gonna go ahead and go with the double pronged attack, and a lot of SCVs are gonna go down. Tons of them at the expansion up here. And a drop in the command center, of course, in turn gonna take a lot of damage. CaptainWaffles has to think now, where do I focus my defenses? Because he only has so many units, and he cannot save this base, so he's gonna let it go down. I'm trying to bring in a couple of Widowmines in the last second, but he's going to focus his efforts on keeping this bottom left-hand corner expansion alive. I think that's the right decision, given that this is basically his freshest command center, his freshest base. But he is going to have to fight a very long uphill battle. A lot of Locusts are coming in there. Meanwhile, though, he is sending in more Blue Flame Hellions! And these drones are just taking so much damage. Great job by CaptainWaffles. If he doesn't have minerals, then he's going to try to stop Coyote from having minerals as well. Great idea, great strategy there. And both players now running pretty low on minerals, but at the same time, I got to say that Coyote just has a larger supply. He's maxed out nearly. Here comes those Locusts once again. And another wave going to try to take out this command center, but Raven's coming out for CaptainWaffles. Going to take out these Swarm Hosts. And of course, with Banshee backup, these Swarm Hosts are just absolutely screwed. Coyote needs to pull them away. I'm not sure why he's sticking around here. There's no way he can take out this planetary fortress now. But I see he's going to bring in backup. He's going to bring in Roaches and Hydras to support these Swarm Hosts. And a very nice job right there, as he's also brought in a couple of Vipers and, of course, the Overseer. And it looks like the new focus here, the new focal point, is down here at the bottom left-hand corner of Akalon Waste. Both players now striving to take out each other's locations. Of course, the Zerg wants to prevent this planetary fortress from getting any more mining done. At the same time, CaptainWaffles wants to defend here. He's got a couple of Banshees still alive. The Viper's doing a nice job abducting, but they do go down to the Vikings, and CaptainWaffles is going to once again pull back here. Has more reinforcements arriving, 3 more Ravens, 3 more Secret Missiles, and 2 Thors. That is a lot of backup. And maybe just a little bit too much now for Coyote to be able to take out this base. He is going to try to focus on getting another expansion up here at the 12 o'clock location. Wow, what a game. 31 minutes long now. Units lost, 30k per side. More Locusts coming in. But this planetary fortress, I feel like at this point now, is pretty much impenetrable. Oh, a round of Secret Missiles coming down right there, taking out a trio of Swarm Hosts. Very nice job, and I feel like slowly but surely CaptainWaffles is closing out that supply gap. He's at 131 now, catching up ever slowly, but a bunch of Roaches coming in here, but there are Widowmines there. Oh, but Widowmines are not actually that effective against Roaches, and if anything, those Widowmines ended up doing a little bit more damage to the SCVs. But SCVs are going to come back and repair their Thor, their only sole Guardian and Protector here. And that will be enough to keep CaptainWaffles' expansion up here alive. Nice job. Wow, what a game. And it almost seems like now Coyote's thinking, wow, what can I do to break this Terran player? And it looks like now he's gone back to Mutalisks. And he's also added in Hydralisk's production as well. That's not a bad idea because Hydras, you know, they can take out the Ravens. They can take out the Banshees. And I think that's why he's going for Hydras here. But he's got to punch through these PDDs first and foremost. They're really preventing the Hydras from doing their damage. And oh! You come back and eat your Secret Missile, that Viper says. But yeah, there's a lot of Hydras now that are going to come and join this Zerg army. And we'll see if that's going to be what it takes here. Remember, these Hydras are 3-3. Every side pretty much has maxed out upgrades at this point. 34 minutes in. And yeah, that is a lot of Hydras for Coyote. I think what he's going to try to do here is wait for the next round of Locusts, and he's going to send his Hydras in. But there are some Hellions he's got to deal with right here. So this, the drones not becoming spines and spores to keep them alive, I guess. But these Hellions are just roasting up drones. 57 and 60 workers have gone down already. Over 100 workers have gone down total this game. Unbelievable game so far. 34 minutes long. CaptainWaffles still trying to attack with these Hellions, but meanwhile, Mule is coming in. Oh, they took a lot of damage from those Sentinel missiles. Once again, will that Thor be able to stay alive? It will! Unbelievable! CaptainWaffles holds on, and a few minutes ago, he actually ended up throwing up those missile turrets. Just great awareness. And all of a sudden, this game is anybody's game. 189 supply to 160. All the expansions on the map have been taken. It is maxed out Terran versus maxed out Zerg. Almost nearly maxed out at least. And a couple of... Oh, great abducts right there. But PDD keeping that Raven alive. No, the Hydra's getting that last shot in to take it down. Oh my god. Both players just trying to get that advantage wherever possible by taking out those key gas-based units, those Vipers, and those Ravens. And it looks like CaptainWaffles has split his army. He sent in a couple of tanks and Banshees and Ravens up over here to the top. And that is going to pull the entire Zerg army for Coyote all the way up to the 12 o'clock expansion to try to save it. Wow. And I think he will be able to keep this hatchery alive. No, he won't. Those swords focus firing it down. And so one hatchery will fall, and now CaptainWaffles is the one on the offensive, moving out here with his tanks and his swords. He's gonna have to siege those tanks up. He's losing a lot of tanks. In the meantime, his tanks and doors on the backside getting surrounded by roaches, hydras, and locusts. Finally getting his tanks set up into siege mode. And his Vipers are gonna have to cast their spells here. They are gonna abduct those siege tanks up into close and personal range. They are now at point blank range. But is it enough? Coyote is losing his army here, and he is going to have to pull back. Unbelievable from CaptainWaffles. Wow. What a sick, sick game. Although we do have 17 Corruptors on the way. Oh, Coyote is going to go for the tech switch to Broodlords. And against this type of army, there are no Vikings. And he does have enough minerals and gas to make at least, I mean, a lot of Broodlords. A ton of Broodlords could come out here. And here we go, man. Those 17 Corruptors are gonna, where are these drones going? They're gonna run down to the bottom of the map, it looks like. And will these Corruptors be able to transform in time? Here we go. They're gonna become Broodlords. That is a ton of Broodlords. But CaptainWaffles is coming in. Oh my god, he could launch Seeker missiles. He could take out these Broodlord cocoons with his doors. And this is going to be pretty epic. Here comes the doors. Here comes the Seeker missiles. They are going to launch. The Broodlords have to cancel. Meanwhile, those Broodlords, will they be able to spawn out in time? Oh, they're just taking so much damage. And it looks like he is going to let those Broodlords come out, but at the same time, just enough. And you can see once those Broodlords pop out, they do come out with full HP. That's the reason why Coyote decided to keep them up and running, keep the cocoons up and going. And it looks like the command center blocked by a hatchery. In the meantime, drones running the gauntlet. Oh my god, it's drone tower defense. But Coyote calls GG. Coyote calls GG. I'm not sure why. I think he still had a chance. He had a lot of Broodlords here, but maybe he just felt like, well, now I'm going to be dealing with a bunch of Vikings that will be coming out of the starport soon, and of course the Vikings will shut down my Broodlord, so I guess that's the reason why. Plus he lost a ton of drones, and it looks like he lost his hatchery too, or something. So wow, Coyote calls GG. What a sick game that was. 39-minute Terran versus Zerg. Wow, I hope you guys enjoyed. And once again, if you guys have any sick replays, feel free to send them in to HDreplays@gmail.com. And of course, subscribe at youtube.com at HD Starcraft. I'll have more casts coming out for you guys. I think I'll do one more before I head out to the track tomorrow. So stay tuned, and this is HD signing out.